Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2022 Marvel film Thor Love and Thunder, a film that is co-written and directed by Taika Waititi, and it stars Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, Christian Bale, Tessa Thompson, Taika Waititi, Russell Crowe, Chris Pratt, Dave Bautista, so on and so forth. There's a lot of people in this film. Right. This film focuses on Chris Hemsworth, Thor, who has been travelling the stars with the Guardians of the Galaxy for a period of time. He's got himself back into shape, but he finds himself heading back to Asgard on Earth, as he is made aware of a threat that has arisen. Gore the God Butcher has made an appearance, and he's got to go back and help protect Asgard. When he gets there, he discovers that he's not the only Thor. There is a new Thor, and it is Jane Foster, played by Natalie Portman, who we learn has been suffering with cancer. She was called to Thor's hammer, which has then adopted her and given her Thor's powers as well. So it's up to these two to team up with King Valkyrie and others like Korg to try and track down and defeat Gore the God Butcher, who has stolen a pile of children from Asgard. Right, what are my thoughts on Thor, Love and Thunder? Well, not really sure where to start with this one. There's kind of a lot that I feel like I want to say without giving spoilers away on this one. Basically, did I enjoy it? Yes, I did enjoy it. However, I feel it's quite an unbalanced experience. I think Taika has taken the comedy that worked so much in Thor Ragnarok and dialed it up to 11 on this film. There are aspects of this film I didn't enjoy. I thought it leaned a little bit too heavily onto the comedy side of the Thor character, and at times I felt they turned Thor into a little bit of a buffoon here. It didn't cross the line, I don't think, and I never thought it completely overshadowed the film, but I just felt as though it felt too light and too comedic for my taste, this one, whereas I thought Thor Ragnarok had that element of comedy in it, but it was just perfectly blended, that film. This film, it leans a little bit too heavily into comedy. There are things in this film that kind of grated and got on my nerves. Like I say, Thor's blunderingness almost is kind of got on my nerves a little bit. These damn screaming goats. He's gifted these goats at the beginning. These giant screaming goats. Initially, they were very funny, but they ended up grating and getting on your nerves. And there's other things in the film I think that just made it feel a bit unbalanced and didn't necessarily work. There's a whole sequence where he goes to see Zeus, played by Russell Crowe. And while it was, like I say, funny and entertaining, when you actually think and analyse it, they didn't need that. Any of that bit, really. It was just an excuse for him to laugh and a giggle. At Thor's expense, for the most part. And Nick Zeus's lightning weapon. That was it. So yeah, there was elements of the film I just didn't think were needed, and I thought there were going to be more Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, and they're barely in the film. It feels like they're in it for the first 10 minutes, and that's it. I think Bradley Cooper had one line in the film. As did Vin Diesel, I suspect. It just seemed a waste of the Guardians, really. I think, it might have been better to have them for a bit longer in the film, or get them to come and help at the end, or something, anything. I mean, at the end of the film, he needed all the help he could get to beat Gore the God Butcher. Okay, make a phone call to the Guardians. If they'll come and help you, you've just been travelling the galaxy with them for a few months, or years, or however long it was. So I do think the story here didn't necessarily make sense. However, it's a Marvel film. If you go into these things trying to take them too seriously, you're going to have a bad time, I think. So if you can kind of park some of the issues with this film, you're going to be highly entertained. I thought the effects were superb. I thought the action sequences were superb. Some of the fight sequences were superb. Great chemistry once again between Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman and Tessa Thompson. I thought they all had great chemistry, as does all of them with Taika as Korg. So I do think all the main leads have great chemistry. I would like to have seen more chemistry with the Guardians as well, because he had some great chemistry with Chris Pratt at the end of Avengers Endgame, and I would have loved to have seen that explored a little bit more. Saying that as well, Gore the God Butcher. I've seen some people say, Christian Bale deserved better, or so on and so forth. While there's aspects of me kind of agree with that, I think we could have had a little bit Gore the God Butcher explored a bit better. We learn of his origin story at the beginning as to why he wants to kill all the gods, and that's it. Boom. The next time we see him, he is basically ascending on Asgard, trying to kill everybody and stealing all the children. There was no build up to that at all. We didn't really get to know the character and how powerful he was, and how he can be such a formidable foe for not just Thor, but any god he comes up against. And we never really got that. Christian Bale never really got the chance to explore the character. But what we do get of Christian Bale in that character, I thought, was really excellent. We don't often see Christian Bale do a role like this, and it was really good to see him playing a role like this. And I do think what we got of him was very, very good. I just don't think we got enough of him. I don't think that character was really explored enough. But as a Thor film, I thought it was really good. I think it's probably the second best Thor film. You'd really struggle to beat Ragnarok, no matter what film it is. But I think it's certainly better than the original Thor and the second Thor, Dark World sort of thing. It is good. It's very much filmed in the same way as Ragnarok. It feels quite comic-y and cartoony. But I would have liked a little bit more complexity to it as well, get it a little bit darker when it needed to be. But overall, I did enjoy it, which is why I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It might be another one that grows on me a little bit more the more I watch it, but I was certainly entertained when I watched this one. And it was a pretty good addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and certainly a good addition to the Thor character. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this review. Of course, I will be back with more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.